presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Getting ready for kickoff between Oregon and Michigan, a 12:30 start time when the Ducks take on the Wolverines in the Big House. This will be the first trip where Oregon actually travels a day early into that Eastern time zone. Ducks will travel on Thursday, get ready on Friday, and then kick it off at 12:30 Pacific time in Ann Arbor on Saturday. CBS has the television broadcast. We've got a 10:30 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. Also today, Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach, will meet with the media. Everyone practiced. The Ducks did, that is, this morning. Some of the Quack Video crew getting them up on YouTube right now. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, crew. We'll also talk a little women's golf. They've got an interesting rematch of the 2024 championship quarterfinals today. We'll tell you about that. Athletic Director Rob Mullens will be with us for the second and third segments today. And Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer will be with us ahead of a rivalry matchup tomorrow. Ducks are hitting the road to Seattle. We'll tell you about that coming up. Also, celebrating the Oregon Athletics Hall of Fame class. Awesome event on Friday. Got to celebrate Tyler Anderson, Kenyon Barner, Lauren Plum, Alexa Peterson, and Eugene Wong. We interviewed them up on stage, and we've got those for you over the course of this week as we get ready for the matchup against the Wolverines of Michigan. Women's basketball season also begins with the exhibition on Friday. Some updates from Coach Graves. And before you know it, the men's basketball season tips off as well. Monday night, Oregon men's basketball takes on a UC Riverside team that's still I think I'm still figuring out exactly what they're going to be this year in this era of the transfers within college basketball, especially. The Ducks have a new-look roster, and so do the Islanders. That's coming up. Also today, the University of Oregon Athletic Department announced that Graham Abel has resigned as the head coach of the Oregon soccer program. Assistant coach Rachel Doyle will serve as the interim coach. In the release today, Rob Mullens said, quote, "We want to thank Graham for all his efforts with the soccer program. We wish him the best in his future endeavors." Abel led the Ducks for 5 seasons from 2020 to 2024, and a national search for a new leader for the program is underway. Again, Rob Mullens will join us coming up a little bit later on today. And on a personal level, I wish Graham Abel nothing but the best. Was always awesome to work with. He came in every Monday and talked with us on the show. Wish Coach Abel the best, and here's to a successful next era for Oregon soccer. Dan Lanning last night in his weekly press conference. Every time we talk with the Oregon football head coach, it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Dan Lanning meeting with the media upstairs in the Hatfield Dowling Complex Media Center last night.
All right. Great recap from this past weekend. I thought our fans were awesome, and it was a fun game for our players. You know, it's a physical game, but I thought our guys went out there and competed and did a great job. But certainly excited about the challenge in front of us now going to Michigan. Talented team. You know, I think that last I looked, they've got 5 guys that are projected to be drafted in the first round. They've got talent across the board, and you know, certainly have the ability to play a really good game. So it's going to be a good challenge for our guys, especially making the trip there to a place that we haven't been before.
You mentioned the 5 projected first round, and 2 of those are on the interior defensive line, are kind of right next to each other.
Yeah.
What makes that duo so good, and kind of how can they cause problems for an offense?
Yeah, you watch them. They're game wreckers, right? They're guys that you have to have a game plan for. You know, but 78 and 55 both, they make an impact, you know, consistently in the game. They beat, you know, single blocks. They're certainly good against double teams. They're good against the run and the pass. So they're guys that you have to spend time and effort for. And, you know, anytime you have guys like that up front, it makes it easier to cover in the back end.
Along with that, what makes Zero Stewart so effective off the edge for them?
Yeah, his power and twitch. You know, again, plays with power, but it also has speed and twitch and ability. So it's not just certainly not a finesse rusher. He plays it a certain way, but he's a talented guy.
Michigan's tight end, I think, leads in yards, targets, touchdowns. Just what have you kind of seen from him on film, and what makes him dangerous and also available for those stats?
Yeah, I mean, he's versatile. They use him in a lot of different ways. He's the guy that you have to know where he's on the field at all times. They move him all over the place. He can split out a wide out and be one of the best wideouts in the field, and then line up in the backfield or line up at tight end and be the best at that position. So he's a really talented player that they're going to find ways to use, right? He's an important piece of their offense.
Coach, Michigan's run defense has struggled at least over the last couple of weeks. Do you feel like that's an area of attack you feel like you guys can take advantage over this weekend?
Well, I mean, it's something we're preparing for is the ability to be able to run the ball on a team like this. I think that's important when you play in games like this. They've always been a really physical run game, team. They've always done a good job of running well, and I think our offense and our team is most efficient when we have a good run game going. So that'll be an important piece for us to try to figure out.
Every team has to deal with injuries, but why do you feel like this one's been able to work through either the Bedford one in fall camp or Birch and Ferguson's absence? Just how have you guys been able to kind of get through those and still improve and get better?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's credit to our players not waiting for their moment to step up, but stepping up and being prepared for their moment. We've had a lot of guys that maybe they weren't going to be the guy that took a ton of the reps at the beginning, and their reps have increased as their production's increased. And, you say at the beginning of every season, like, I don't know if people realize what this guy's role might become, but we've had a lot of guys' roles that have grown because of, availability, and being available. But also they were ready for those moments when those moments came.
Is there an explanation for why they didn't review? It looked like a fumble on Saturday, clear fumble and recovery. Was there an explanation offered?
They had ruled it forward progress.
Sounds like Will Johnson is going to be closest to a game time decision, possibly out. But what kind of impact does he have on their secondary, having him versus when he's not there?
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great player. He has ball production. He gets in and out of breaks. He's able to take away, a side of the field. So, he's definitely a guy that would make an impact.
Coach, over the last couple of weeks, we've heard from this team just not care about the polls, not care about being number one. Why do you feel like that mentality is so important to have on the team? And is that something that the guys just kind of started to have from the beginning of the season? Is that something you instilled? Just where did that kind of come from?
No, I just don't think we've ever measured ourselves based on what other people think. And that doesn't necessarily change. And we have our own internal goals that, in our plan of what we want to be. And really, at the beginning of every year, everybody asks me what's success look like. And to me, it looks like us playing our best football at the end of the season. So that's our goal, is to put ourselves in position to play our best football and focus on the process, not the result.
They've had a shuffle at quarterback. Davis Warren, though, looks like to be the guy moving forward. What stands out with him, and how has that altered preparations of just multiple guys at that position? Yeah,
and then obviously Orji played again, in the last game as well. So it's different based on who's in the game. They're both capable and they can win in different ways, right? But I think he played well in the last game, and I think getting in a rhythm and finding some consistency is probably important for them. But they both can beat you in different ways. They can throw the ball. Obviously, they do a great job of establishing the run game, and that's something that Ten will bring in a little bit more as he comes in. But he's also proven to have the ability to pass. So you have to prepare for a little bit more when you have to go against a team like this. And we've had some longer weeks at times when we play Friday games. This is not one of those situations. So it's a matter of you making sure that you can be sound and simple for your guys, but also create some complicated looks for the opponent.
Wondering if you've ever been to Michigan Stadium, and if not,
first time.
What do you know? Yeah, what have you heard about, and what do you know about it?
Heard it's big. Yeah, heard it's big. I know it's one of the, that's one of the things I think that's exciting about being in this conference is getting the opportunity to play at some historic places, and this is certainly a historic place.
What'll go into managing the guys who are sitting on 4 games and whether or not they redshirt, whether it's Tion or Blake or Rod, because you do have some depth there. Will you bother to travel those guys, or will you try to avoid that?
Yeah, we'll keep that in-house. We always make the best decision for the players on our team and our team.
What do you feel like you and maybe the team learned about traveling across the country to play Purdue and hoping to take into preparation for this week?
Yeah, just experience more than anything. Just the experience of being able to do that. Traveling for games is not new. It's not like we didn't travel for games last year, but this is certainly a longer distance, and we'll continue to adapt and prepare for it.
Go back to your first year here and Justice Lowe's recruitment, of just why you guys offered him late, the involvement there, and how it's played out for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really proud of, more than anything, Justice. When he first got here, he's dinged up with some injuries, and it kind of limited his ability to be on the field. And we always felt like if he was a guy that was available, he was going to be a guy that can make an impact. And I think he's probably had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he realized, hey, I haven't been available, and he's playing tough, right? More than anything, I tell you that Justice Lowe's playing tough football, right? He's become one of our best blockers in that room, but he also runs really precise routes. He's a guy you can line up at any position and trust that he's going to do his job. So again, I think he's stepped up and grown every single year, every single week, and become one of the guys that we all have a lot of faith in when he's out there on the field.
I wonder if there's a progress report for Terrence and Jordan.
Yeah, I think we have guys that are questionable that are going to be practicing with it this week. Both those guys were available to practice today, but we'll again put our players' best interest in mind as we prepare for this week.
I don't think you've had to do too much silent counts on the road, maybe a little bit early at Oregon State, but this is 110,000 people. How do you feel like that aspect of things in practice and from snap-wise from Poncho, how that's gone for the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, we always prepare for it. So we prepare for it in games that we're not in games that it'll be necessary. So it's something we carry all the way through fall camp, and you always have a plan based on if it's something that's necessary or not, and assess it when you get there.
Since year one, you've always done a little Halloween get-together. What was your favorite costume from last night?
Good question. Seeing Coach Stein dressed up in Paw Patrol was pretty good. Trying to think what else was out there. I think the Lapoy boys were both like Mario and Luigi, so those were pretty good looks.
You guys are the only team with 3 top 25 wins this season. How will that help you going into this weekend? I know they're not ranked, but it's still going to be a hostile environment, a good team.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting an opportunity to play the reigning national champions, right? And in this conference, it's hard every single week. So, and we know that we'll get their best. So it's exciting to have a chance. We got to play in some games that are fun for us so far this year and challenging, and this will certainly be a challenge.
Looked like Shaq was in a walking boot, and Kamari may not have been around this past weekend. Just what's their statuses at the moment?
Yeah, I think they'll both be good.
From their run game and their 2 backs, what makes them effective and how Mullens has been able to convert from linebacker and turn into a lead rusher for them?
Yeah, just more than anything, they don't go down on first contact. They're guys that break tackles. They do a great job of winning at the point of attack. Their offensive line moves people. This is one of the better offensive lines that we've gone against, if not the best. And again, they're always adding extra hats, whether it's another tight end, fullback body types at times. They do a great job of getting extra hats at the point of attack.
Michigan, the scouting report from Dan Lanning there. Every time we talk with Coach Lanning, brought to you by our friends at the William Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center, better cancer care close to home. Coach Lanning, I think, said it well there in terms of the assessment of Michigan with the physicality. This game, whether it's true or not from a pure roster management and makeup standpoint, this game has a narrative of 2 physical teams, and when you go on the road, and we've all seen and talked about the record when Big Ten teams have gone across multiple time zones. The team that travels across multiple time zones hasn't been all that successful. Now, every matchup's a little bit different, but the Ducks certainly are thinking about that. That's why they're traveling Thursday. Nishad Struthers said it today that the Ducks do a great job of hydrating on the airplane. It's those things that happen off the field with that care factor that has to go your way. Got to take care of yourself. Now on the physicality point, especially when you have that trek, the physicality of this game, there's a reason that it keeps coming up. Michigan, although having a down year by their standards after a national championship run, Michigan's still very talented. Still have 4 or 5 guys on the defense that might be NFL draft picks this season. 2 talented rosters that are made up of highly touted recruits, and highly touted recruits that are highly touted for the right reasons. Whether the narrative proves to be true or not, this is a test of physicality when the Ducks go to the Big House to play a Michigan team that prides itself on that. The thing is, the Ducks pride themselves on that as well. Oregon at Michigan in the Big House, 12:30 kickoff. We'll have a 10:30 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. We're going to talk with Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach, also athletic director Rob Mullens in a moment. But first, the Oregon women's golf team facing LSU today in a rematch of the 2024 NCAA Championship quarterfinals after finishing 3rd in the stroke play round of the East Lake Cup on Monday. The Ducks are playing in 2 of the most prestigious tournaments that take place in the fall on the collegiate golf calendar. Ducks and Tigers squaring off in the semifinals of the East Lake Cup. Winner advances to the championship match on Wednesday. Golf Channel has live coverage of the action right now. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, Golf Channel has live coverage of the Ducks and Tigers in this match play format. That's exciting stuff. When we come back, Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens is here. Slow news week. Nothing happening with a travel on Thursday. We'll talk with Rob after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Rob Mullens is here. It's Athletic Director Tuesday.
Hey.
So does the week change much for you when we travel Thursday? Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, we try to cram a few more meetings in Monday through Wednesday. So, yeah.
But on a personal level for you, getting a chance to go to some of these other places, how fun has that been? How much fun will it be for you as just a college sports fan yourself?
Well, it was fun to go to Purdue. I had never been to West Lafayette, and impressive. I mean, the way their students showed up and the energy that they brought, so it was a cool atmosphere. And then my son's a student at University of Michigan, so there's a lot of cool things about this trip.
Yeah, so the extra day means a little bit more time to catch up as a dad.
Yeah, it will be. Make sure we're getting midterms done.
Yeah, that's right. See, that's good. That's good. And then hopefully a nice dinner after a successful midterm.
Yes, let's do it.
I like that. I love that. So, all right, football season. Just encapsulate it for us, Rob. How's it been so far?
Well, I mean, it just happened so fast, right? You know, it feels like we just started, and here we are, what are we, 2/3 of the way through. So, listen, Autzon's been phenomenal. Yeah. As energized and impactful as any of my 15 seasons here, that's for sure. Just so proud of the way our team has continued to grow. So, lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm, and then lots more to do.
Well, and that being said, I mean, since you've been on, we had College Game Day here. You know, we had a tremendous showing on a couple different TV broadcasts. Like, can you put into words what that means at this point in the season for the whole institution?
Well, no doubt. When you get a game like we had Ohio State, 10.4 million, over 13 million viewers at peak. You know, College Game Day was the largest October since 2009.
Right.
2.3 million average viewers on a Chamber of Commerce weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and I'm sure many people saw the graphic that we put out. The Sunday after Ohio State was the most passengers ever departing out of Eugene. So the impact for Oregon athletics is huge. For the institution, for people to get a chance to see what a beautiful place we have is huge. And then the economic impact for our community. You couldn't go anywhere that week where there just wasn't this buzz about the event, and to be able to sell out Illinois. And I believe Saturday in Ann Arbor will be our 7th straight game on national network TV, first time ever in school history. Those things are, that's meaningful. You're getting a big audience.
Well, and certainly, the success of the team fuels this. But as we sit here talking about the first year of the realignment, this is what we were talking about.
No, it is to have the broadcast partners that we have, Fox, CBS, NBC, and we've had the honor of being on all of those. Again, when you think about 10.4 million viewers for a single game,
right?
Some teams won't have that for a season,
right?
And then to be able to have that kind of game and that kind of day. And listen, last week we had some executives from CBS that were here for the first time at Autzen. And, their takeaway was, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Coming home, motorcycle, shout. So, again, we're fortunate to have those kind of partners who invest in an incredible broadcast.
When I asked you about the for us personally traveling to these other places, well, I got to tell you, so Ohio State and both Illinois, they came in no less than 10 people from each crew, whether it be the broadcast, equipment, whoever the folks I work with, right? And it's like, wow, look at this view. It's been, honestly, Rob, I said this to Georgie, sometimes it's a good reminder for all of us. You look around and go, boy, yeah, this is pretty nice here, isn't it?
It is pretty nice, and we had that as well because, again, Saturday was just a beautiful day, and when you get up and you look out
Chamber
over the
of Commerce.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And, again, students are in, everybody's making an impact in the game, everybody's having a great time. The pageantry around Oregon football is really something special, and people are like, oh, you guys have a hidden gem out here. We're like, yeah, and hopefully through our success and the visibility, it's not so hidden anymore.
I was going to say, I don't know that it is hidden anymore.
No, for those of you that wanted to stay a hidden gem in a small community, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. We joke, but like, Rob, you talk about all right, so 15 years for you. If I told Rob of 15 years ago that this is where the University of Oregon Athletic Department would be sitting, what would you have said?
Yeah, we would have been like, wow.
Yeah.
That's the kind of – you want to stack those kind of years to be in this position,
right.
To have this visibility and be set up, particularly in a changing landscape.
Yeah.
To be where we are, we're pretty fortunate.
Well, and being able to stay nimble in that landscape.
No doubt. No, a lot has changed in 15 years, but none more than the last 2 or 3,
right.
And we're still in the period of that massive change.
I asked you this not long ago, like if you could talk to younger you about the change, I don't know that you could have envisioned all of it as quickly.
No, you would have brought up the subject 15 years ago. I would have rolled my eyes at you and kind of ended the conversation there. Like, there's no way this goes there.
Yeah.
And we're there.
Yeah, we're there. And it's going to keep changing.
It is going to keep changing. There's no doubt about that. There is one thing for certain, and that is change will be recurring in our business.
Nice to be at a place then where you are nimble to be able to
No,
change.
you want to be nimble because, if we see further contraction at the highest level. If you're a number of teams, with this added $21 million budget line item, plus if you're able to do more scholarships, if that shrinks the pool of teams competing at the highest level, you want to be in that because, I would say it's probably more beneficial to stay in it than fall out and try to get back in it.
Right, no doubt. Now, and to that point too, like we talk about the success of the team, what that does. We've discussed before the economic driver, the economic engine. Do you like driver or engine better?
Both are fine.
Economic driver engine, whatever. So, but all of that being said, the success on the field is what drives so much of this, and that's been fun to watch.
It does, and football generates 80% of the resources here at the University of Oregon. So successful football allows us to fund 19 other sports. We have one sport that makes money, and that one sport funds 19 other sports. And so our 500 student athletes benefit from the success of football.
Yeah, and so now going to Michigan, still a few things on the horizon. The schedule does get a little bit intense. That's where you want to be, though.
That is where you want to be. Obviously, here we're going to have another game on national network TV against the defending national champions in front of 110,000 people.
Have you been there before?
I have been there. I went there on an official recruiting visit with my son for a game, and I've been in and around Ann Arbor for the last couple of years. He's a student there, but only been to one game.
Okay.
One football game.
All right. Make it 2.
Make it 2. That's right.
Going to make it 2. All right, we're going to get time out when we come back. Volleyball season, cross-country postseason. Also, we celebrated the Hall of Fame last week, and I haven't had you on since we did that.
Yeah,
so
that was a lot of fun.
That. Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, with us. Stick around on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack and Rob Mullens joining us here in the Country Financial Studio. Volleyball season. Matt Ulmer going to join us coming up next segment. Oregon Volleyball head coach. They've got Washington round 2, which is actually odd now in the way the volleyball season falls, the way the volleyball schedule sets up with so many conference opponents. There's only 3 teams that the Ducks will play twice. Washington's one of them, and that's coming up rivalry tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's a great match, and obviously it helps with travel.
Yes,
too, as we talked about for months of trying to do things that minimize the impact of travel.
How's that gone, I guess, so far?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, obviously, volleyball, doing the Ohio State, Penn State on back-to-back days is really, really hard. Proud of the way our team managed that. So they played in Columbus and then chartered a flight over to State College and played. That's hard to do, particularly, against a ranked opponent. But otherwise, I think it's been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those many things, right, that it's the first time going through a lot of this stuff.
It is, and it's an ongoing dialogue. We had a meeting in Chicago of Big Ten administrators, ADs, senior women's administrators, deputy ADs, and faculty athletic reps. And this whole it's just going to be an ongoing exploration of the tweaks and adjustments we can make to minimize travel.
I was actually kind of curious about that because, the examples come up in the broadcast realm, and I don't know if it's gone beyond that of – the Pac-12 used to have those Thursday football games, right? And then it got adjusted where, you had to have a bye week before you played.
Right.
That was one of those things, kind of.
Yeah, it was. And, as we learned in going to Indianapolis for Purdue is, that was right out a 4-hour flight. And, there were times that Tucson could be two and a half. So we're, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it seems to be that we're managing it the right way.
Pac-12 was already the largest geographic conference.
Yes.
So I feel like that, I feel like it's probably a bigger adjustment for our new Big Ten brethren, I suppose.
I would think, which if that gives us a little bit of an advantage, we'll take it.
That's right. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens with us. So we're halfway through the Big Ten season for volleyball. It's a top 10 team right now. Pretty fun.
Very fun. And this is the top volleyball league in all of America. And we've got I don't want to look past tomorrow, but
right.
we've got some pretty neat matches coming up and an opportunity to show the Big Ten, that we're ready to compete in volleyball.
And hopefully host at Matthew Knight Arena.
That's, I mean, we talk about it. Any chance in these NCAA championship sports where, you earn the right to host the first couple rounds, it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, and so just so everyone is aware, like the new floor, the volleyball-specific floor at Matthew Knight Arena, that's a big part of hosting. And then you win a lot. Yeah, it's going to be fun in the postseason.
It's a nice combination, yeah, to be able to play, sleep in your own bed, and have your routine while you're in the NCAA tournament is a big advantage.
Yeah, postseason's also here for Oregon cross country, trying to peak at the right time in Illinois Friday morning.
Yeah, here's our chance. Let's go win us a Big Ten championship.
How about that?
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool. It feels right.
It does feel
right.
right. It does feel right.
Talking about postseason, too, we haven't had you on since the Big Ten championships we know are going to be here. Some NCAA track is going to be here as well. Another chance to maybe just say I like Hayward Field as a permanent host site.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've been on that campaign for several years now. We will stay on it, and we have had the opportunity to get the majority of them.
Yeah. It's nice.
But yes, we will be greedy and go for all of them.
I like it. I like that. Now, the Hall of Fame last week, so every year around homecoming weekend, we always have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, was truly special to celebrate Tyler Anderson, Kenyon Barner, Lauren Plum, Alexa Peterson, Eugene Wong. Every time this comes around, I feel like every time I ask you this, puts a smile on your face because there's a lot of hard work that goes into selecting these, first of all.
There is, and thank you to Greg Irwin for chairing that committee and all the members who devote their time to nominating, evaluating, and ultimately voting on the class. But it is such a fun event, right? And for all those, that's a pretty special class. And I think if I'm right, Joey, all 6 of them overlapped at some point. So you think about all the greatness that was at the University of Oregon in that stretch, and some pretty phenomenal athletes. Yeah. But equally phenomenal people. Yeah. And, the way our Hall of Fame is set up, you have to be separated for 10 years. So it's fun to have them back. I think a couple of them said it was their first or second time back since they left the university. And it's just fun to celebrate. Great crowd we had out. It was fun.
And it's into the era. Now, by the way, the 6th, in addition to the 5 that I mentioned that were on, is Laura Raisler, who we announced as a Hall of Fame inductee. We'll celebrate her at a later date.
Right.
But I wanted to mention, too, you're in this part because you're on this committee. And I know a lot of people on this committee. That's a hard job, Rob, because we are into an era with so many All-Americans, so many successful teams. It's tough right now, and that's a good problem.
It is tough. And when you look at just the class we announced, you had Player of the Year in golf, record setter in the Pac-12 in volleyball, 2 World Series appearances, 2 Pac-12 championships. It's just, it is extremely difficult, but it is the highest honor that you can receive as a University of Oregon student athlete. So that's a good thing to have it be that difficult.
Winter sport's going to be here before we know it.
It is here before we know it. I know we get into that crazy time of all this overlap.
Yeah.
But basketball starts next week, and here we go.
All right. Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, thank you for your time. Safe travels. Enjoy some family time.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to getting there, taking care of business, and around it, being able to check on my sophomore and make sure he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Midterms, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Celebrating after.
He better not need tutoring because I am.
You're out.
I cannot tutor on macroeconomics.
Yeah, you and me both. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens, thank you, sir. We'll see you on the airplane.
Thank you. Go Ducks.
Quick timeout. When we come back, Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer with us on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by your local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son Ricky took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Okay, so a little bit of inside the broadcast here as we welcome you back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Coach Ulmer and the team are flying today. Coach Ulmer practiced this morning, sprinted over here, and I mean full dead sprint across the bridge. And, a
lot less traffic than game days.
Yeah.
Going across that
bridge.
But
I got to tell you, this is next level effort from a head coach. Getting an interview in when able, and I got to tell you, we appreciate it. Thanks for your flexibility. Thanks for your efforts. We love you.
And this man's not feeling well, and here he is today.
Oh,
A+. Don't shake my hand, but appreciate you.
I wasn't going to.
That's
Can
good.
we do an air version?
That's a little close.
Okay,
No,
how
okay.
about
No,
back
come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't do
All right,
it.
there it was.
I can't do it. Hey, review the weekend for us. Pretty good, huh?
We went 2-0.
Got a couple wins.
And we swept both teams. Yeah, go Ducks. At home. And we were okay. Well, we were okay. I think Maryland is a really aggressive serving team. We had a hard time with that, but still hit over 300 while not passing well. So that's a credit to Chris and the attackers. I thought they all did a really nice job there, and that was good. I think we had a close set there, and we found a way to come back and get that win. And again, it's a nice thing that we're able to, even when we're down, we're able to step up and make plays, enough plays to win the game. And so that was a positive. And then Chris the next day got hurt in practice, and Robbie stepped in, and I thought she did an excellent job against Rutgers, and again hit about 300, for the match. And I thought the last two sets we were very clean against them, and it was a good performance.
So that's a lot of fans, I think, that, and for me, that was one of the stories of the weekend. Is you dealt with some injury, faced a little adversity, and got 2 wins. Good to get wins after some adversity.
I think everybody's always happier when you win.
Yes.
Yeah, and they think you're better when you win.
Right.
So that part.
Do you think that?
That part's good. Again, there's time I personally thought we played better losing at Wisconsin than we did in either match that we swept this weekend.
Sure.
And that's the part of the coach that's always frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Is that
coaches are never satisfied.
It's about the results as opposed to the process. And so for me, no, I thought it was just an okay weekend for us. Yeah.
How do you handle that mentally? Like that the process is so important to you and it's so critical, but it is a results-oriented business.
I try not to, lose it. I try to stay within it. But again, this weekend what I thought was very frustrating personally, because there's a lot of things that I thought we were just undisciplined, game plan we didn't handle very well, things like that were very much in our control. That from a coach, you have big picture, right? And so most people are just right here, right? They're looking at winning this point or winning this match or whatever it is. And for me, it's I know I have a good idea of where we need to be, to be able to play our best in December. And so anytime we're kind of going away from that, then I'm not thrilled.
Right.
So I just want us to keep improving and getting better. And again, so there's things we did well, but for where we're trying to go or where I hope we're trying to go, it wasn't where we want to be.
How does the team handle that too, though? Because you talk about the high expectations internally.
Yeah. I think we had a State of the Union today because we're halfway through the Big Ten.
Right, yeah.
And so kind of went over all of our metrics that we hold important and kind of where we're at, and we're really close with all of them, which is excellent. But we're under. For most, and so it's like, okay, see again. That's what I'm saying. Results. It's fine.
Hey, you said the results.
but the judgment, the emotional judgment of the result outcome.
Honestly, I was trying to just support you
Is
because
that
that's
what it
how
was?
you feel. In
Oh,
this
okay,
moment.
no. I think it's more of us being aware, right? Being aware of what we're doing, no matter how we're feeling. Maybe we're feeling like we're not playing well, or again, we've talked about this. You're never as good or as bad as you think you are. You know, so it's like again, but where are we? On that path, and so I think we're, they're high expectations, they're high standards. The metrics are, and we're not far off. And I still don't feel like I don't think we've hit on all cylinders in a match yet. Like where all the hitters are going, all the connections feel good. Everybody shows up from the service line. It's like, and maybe that never happens, but I just want to keep getting closer and closer to that.
Well, yeah, and there's the obvious question, right? Like, how do you get there?
Keep practicing,
yeah,
right? And making sure you're getting in, and whatever that is for you in your game, maybe it's your serve, maybe it's your attack, whatever that is, or passing, are you getting in and getting those reps? And again, when I played, like the amount of times I was in the gym by myself with the volleyball was, countless hours.
Right.
And so just going over today, like, if there's Mackenzie, for example, she wants to be an accountant, and she's high level student and, excellent. With her schoolwork, and I just said, how many hours a day outside of class do you spend? She goes, 4 to 5 hours a day on accounting. And I was like, yeah. And so what does that do for you, right? That sets you up to, be a great professional in your field. And I just asked them, how many of you are spending time outside of volleyball practice, on your craft? And I'm not saying I'm expecting you to go 4 to 5 hours. You got other things on your schedule, but also this is also something that you, if you're trying to, we're 10th in the country. If you're trying to be higher than that, like, again, you're 10. That's great. But, like, if you're actually trying to chase that championship, then what's that going to take, above and beyond, just the standards?
I feel like self-enterprise is so hard to teach, but yet it's so important, especially in a competitive industry.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to foster that in some ways.
Yeah. So it was good. Again, you don't want to, extinguish the flame,
right,
because they're doing fantastic, but also, are we good with that?
Yeah.
Are we settling for maybe we could do more, and so just trying to make sure everybody sees, we only have a month left basically of our season, and it's, what do you want to do at this time? I believe it's in our hands. I think we can really take some steps forward and become a really fantastic team. I feel like we could hold neutral or take a step back, and probably be pretty disappointed with the results in the tournament.
Now, to that, I guess, end, when you do have, though, an injury like you had, and you have to change out a very critical part of your team, how does that impact things? How did it impact things over the weekend?
Well, who's the next woman up mentality, right? I mean, but that's really what it is. I think we have nice depth on our team. I think everybody's very capable of playing at a high level, and it was just, Chris is going to focus on getting healthy with our trainer, and that's going to be what she does. And then Robbie, step up and go play, and Robbie's more than capable of and ready to do that. So, again, I think that's the mindset I hope we always have.
Yeah.
But we actually have we have the people, we have the roster to be able to act that way too.
Yeah, to that point too, I guess defensively, like a lot of the conversation from Oni afterwards, for example, was like, hey, Robbie can do some things defensively for you. What did you see there?
I mean, she blocked 6 balls, and I'm on her about her blocking all the time, so it was slightly hilarious, that she blocked 2 balls a set. So good for her.
She listened to you.
No, she didn't. But she has Robbie has great feel. She has great instincts. She has really good experience in the game. She knew, she could read when they're trying to hit different places, and she put her hands in good spots. And so she did her job really well. She'll get tested more and more as we go. But I thought she did a really nice job. And again, I thought she ran the offense well. The connections weren't super crisp early on because, again, she hasn't had as much time with Mimi, for example, as she has with others. So, but I thought she set our middles and our right side great. And I thought towards the end of the match, they started to find their connection. And in practice, it keeps getting better.
And hey, to the depth point, like when you have those sorts of practices, like it is so important, again, with the next woman up mentality, but you also position in practice accordingly, right? Like, how do you handle that in practice to try to have that chemistry connection still be there with all of your students?
Yeah, there's drills we do where everybody's just moving from side to side, right? It's not always just everybody's on one side.
It's not ones against twos.
No,
right? Yeah.
No, I mean, there's times when that's what you're doing, like if you're really going over specific rotations or different patterns that you want. But no, for the most part, you're moving everybody around, so everybody's always playing with everybody. We have a couple practice players; they'll go both sides, things like that. So again, it's not like you don't have experience together, but again, in the match and kind of the sweet spot, it's just a different feel.
We talked last week about how you were pretty happy with where the team is defensively, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about Mackenzie. I mean, the way that you have, I know serve and pass always important, but defense and digs. I mean,
yeah.
Big deal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, going over our numbers today, the first half of the season, again, our goal is to get 3 aces to every 4 misses. And right now we're even better than that in conference play, right? Which is the first time, I think, in my career here that we're doing that. So that's great. Yeah, of course. It could all fall apart tomorrow, but that's not how we're going to think, right? That's not how we're going to think. We're going to keep going.
Yeah.
But again, we're doing a nice job consistently serving, applying good pressure consistently, and with fewer misses. And so what that does is it's setting up our block, which is one of the tops in the country.
Right.
And then again, that makes the life easier of the defensive players. And the thing about Mackenzie is Mackenzie has great instincts, but she is lightning quick. Again, I'm trying to remember somebody that we've had that can really move as quickly as she can down by the floor and stay strong. So, she really does a great job there. She covers a ton of court. And the reason we're able to triple block, which we've talked about in different situations, is because Mackenzie can play a whole half of a court. And I actually think she appreciates, she wants that freedom to be able to move around more as opposed to a defender next to her. So I think it's been good for, the roster that we have.
That's interesting, talking about like enabling the skill set to flourish.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Like you adapt as you go based on your student athletes.
Yeah. Again, I think there's wrinkles every year. I think you have, as a coach, you have this idea of what you need to be able to do to be successful. But based upon the personnel that you have, you're going to tinker.
Right.
Around with that and try to make it fit the people that you have.
Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach, with us. A little bit of a shortened week. How does that change things?
Yeah, this stretch is going to be. We've never done anything like this before.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
We're on the road at least once over the next 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's
different.
It's different. I have no idea. I mean, we're not missing much school. Today would be the exception, right? We have a Wednesday night match, so we miss today and tomorrow. But after that, we only have the one Michigan trip where we miss a little bit, but the other ones are going to be weekend single matches, and we're playing home midweek. So, I mean, from that perspective, it's great, But I don't know. We'll see how we handle it. But we go to Washington, we go to LA twice, just for single matches, and they're just one night on the road type thing.
Not bad.
Yeah, and then same thing Minnesota on the weekend. So, I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to go. But again, I think as long as we're really focused on what we need to do, we hopefully, like you said, with the injury, like you just handle it. You just go through the adversity, and hopefully it makes us stronger by the end.
And it's so easy to say all of that, right? But then the practicality of it, I mean, that's.
Well, and again, we talked about today. It's like it's really hard to be great for a million reasons. To be a championship level team, it is so difficult, and that's why we celebrate those teams that have great successes because they really did something special. And so right now we have different things to overcome than maybe teams in the past. Also don't have to overcome maybe some things that teams in the past had to overcome. It's just here's the thing that we're dealing with. And so again, how mature are we and how focused are we on what we're going to do, that we're not going to let those things, impact us in a negative way.
Washington tomorrow night on the road. What's the breakdown? What do the Huskies bring to the table?
First time, we only get to play 3 teams twice this year, right? And this is one of them. So, again, I think they served us very aggressive last time. They really made our defense work. We were not sharp against them. A lot of that had to do with their block, big block everywhere in the 6-2. So we need to control the ball well. There's definitely things that we can try to pick apart from them that we didn't do a great job of. We were streaky in doing it last time, and that's why we won in 5, but there was definitely pockets of breakdown. So, it's always nice when you can see what you did against another team on film and be able to adjust from that. And so hopefully we've done that and we'll be prepared.
Bigger picture question. Last week, University of Oregon Athletic Department Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Lauren Plum, one of the greatest in the history of Oregon volleyball, inducted. Yeah. Cool to have her back.
And Pac-12 history. I don't know which setters you're putting above her in Pac-12 history, but she's a great one. Yeah, and I think she had a great week. Lots of family, lots of friends, old teammates, that came, and I think she felt special. She felt the love as she should. She is special, and she deserves all that love and attention. She's amazing, and it's really cool to just see her coaching career take off also too, and how passionate she is there. And she's doing a great job for Vanderbilt, and they're gonna surprise a lot of teams when they start next year.
Yeah, it was fun for me just to talk with her again because I called the volleyball matches when
that was your first, right?
Here. Yeah. Volleyball was the first sport that I called here at the University of Oregon.
You're just a young little duckling.
Yes, in so many ways.
As opposed to now.
Nope, still just a young trying to figure it out duckling.
Okay. I believe the trying to figure it out part.
Yeah. Just not little duckling anymore.
Maybe not as little. You have your own.
I do. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was great talking with her, though. What was that like for the team to talk with her a little bit and just to see her have that honor on the floor?
I think she's been around enough
really?
That I feel like they they know her. They've heard a lot from her.
Yeah.
But I think this time, we didn't get a lot of time with her. It was more she was busy.
Yeah.
Going from appearance to appearance. It was just more about just appreciating her,
cool.
just loving on her in the moments that they got. And I think everybody really, she's a gem. Yeah. So I think everybody was just really excited to see her and be happy for her.
Helping start the volleyball program at Vanderbilt. That's what she's been up to.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Lastly, is anybody dressing up as Coach Ulmer this year?
I didn't know last year, and then Oni did it. So
good work, Oni.
Yeah. Probably. I don't think this year. It's hard. You can't top that. So I feel like you just back it. I don't think so.
You can.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
There's another.
I probably will.
There's another version of Matt Ulmer that we could see in a Halloween costume.
What does that mean?
You'll see.
Okay.
What are you going to dress up as?
I tried to get Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to get Wolverine and my 1-year-old to be Baby Deadpool.
Would have been great.
Did you see the movie?
Yeah, would have been great.
It would have been great.
Would have been great.
But they're sold out everywhere.
Sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
Popular Halloween costume this year.
Popular Halloween costume this year.
Yeah.
So I struck out.
Okay.
I don't know what I'll do.
All right.
Probably nothing.
Candy?
Very lame.
Gonna eat any candy?
I know. No, I have not.
You look great.
Thank you so much.
So no.
I haven't. I haven't had candy in 18 weeks. No Dr. Pepper in 18 weeks. I know. And I'm here and I'm smiling. Look at this. Thank you.
Hey.
It is life-changing. It's not easy.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Feel better.
Thanks,
UCLA, home Saturday night.
I know.
And then Nebraska the next Thursday.
Big.
We can break our attendance record against Nebraska. We're close already. So,
big. People's,
come on.
Green
beard could happen. Come on.
See.
Let's make it happen.
You got there on the Halloween costume.
I got you.
Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Feel better.
Thanks. Thanks for being here. Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach. Quick timeout when we come back. Wrapping up Duck Insider for today here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're so tough.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I envisioned a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Matt Ulmer and his team currently on a flight to Washington. The Ducks will take on the Huskies in a matchup between a couple of teams that know each other. It was 3-2 last time. Ducks were able to get the win. But taking a look at the schedule ahead for Oregon Athletics, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, Oregon Women's Golf is in the East Lake Cup today, semifinal match of their tournament. Golf Channel has coverage. We'll be keeping track of it over the course of the afternoon. And then the Ducks would be in action again tomorrow. It depends on how things shake out with this tournament structure. So we'll have some updates for you on the show tomorrow as well. University of Oregon men's and women's tennis are also in action this weekend. The women's tennis team has the Duck Invitational at the Student Tennis Center, and the men's tennis team is in San Diego for a tournament. And then you heard me talking with Rob Mullens earlier. Big Ten championships for Oregon cross country. They take place in Illinois Friday morning. Ryan will have the show for you on Thursday and Friday as Jerry, Jorgie, Dusty, and I fly to Michigan with the team. And the Ducks will have some updates, Ryan will, that is, on the Ducks from that Big Ten championship on Friday. Also for Oregon Volleyball, they're in action at Matthew Knight Arena against UCLA on Saturday at 8 o'clock. And the Oregon women's basketball season begins on Friday night. Now, it's an exhibition against Warner Pacific, but the Ducks are anticipating a great crowd. Hope to see you all there. A 6 o'clock start for Oregon women's basketball. The exhibitions, we usually don't have a broadcast of them for various reasons, but I'm anticipating a fun crowd at Matthew Knight Arena nonetheless. A 6 o'clock start for Oregon women's basketball on Friday night. Now, looking ahead a little bit, if we are ready for basketball season completely, it is a doubleheader next Monday. 4 o'clock, California Baptist is in town taking on Kelly Graves and the Oregon women's basketball team. A 4 o'clock start. We have a 3:30 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network, and it is a doubleheader at Matthew Knight Arena. Oregon men's basketball against UC Riverside at 7:30. It'll be the debut on the 7 o'clock pregame show with Luke Jackson. Luke Jackson will be joining me for the first time coming up for the entire season. He's going to join me for all the home games, some select road games as his schedule allows. 7 o'clock pregame show. We all know the keys to the game with Luke Jackson are going to be far better than the keys to the game with me. It's just like the keys to the game with Bev Smith are way better than with anybody else. Those are 2 University of Oregon Athletic Department Hall of Famers and 2 University of Oregon Athletic Department Hall of Fame Selection Committee members in Bev Smith and Luke Jackson, our analysts who will be with us for both women's basketball and men's basketball broadcasts this upcoming season. I'm really looking forward to working with Luke. I actually had lunch with Luke yesterday. Talked about broadcasts and talked about the team and how things are going to go. I'm excited. I'm really excited to be working with Luke. So basketball season starts on Monday, and then a full slate of action at Matthew Knight Arena. Next week, every weekday but Tuesday has something going on at Matthew Knight Arena with volleyball and men's and women's basketball. Tomorrow on the show, we'll hear again from Coach Lanning as he'll meet with the media after practice. Tons of Oregon football student athletes previewing that 12:30 kickoff at Michigan. See you tomorrow.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60